Have you done virtual crop sketch number 1 for October? Hi, this is Kim with Mom's Creative Moments. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to take the virtual crop sketch number 1 from the October Creative Memories virtual crop, and I'm making it in an 8x8 version. So I hope that you are excited to take a look at how this comes together. I put together a scrapbook every year for the littles that I watch, and so this is a page that's going to go into their album. I think I mentioned in this video also, if you're interested in seeing the rest of the pages up to this point that I've done for that album, I would be happy to walk you through that and share those with you so that you have some other ideas for 8x8s. 8x8s make a great size to gift to people. And so it can be really a fun thing. That and the scrap journal, they can be really fun for you to create for your grandchildren or for your neighbor or for your teacher or for a good friend or for a smaller event that maybe you don't want a whole album of 12 by 12 for that event, but maybe a family reunion or something like that. They make a great size for those kinds of things where you want a separate album, but maybe you don't have enough to put all of those photos in a big 12 by 12. So hopefully these designs will help you. Oh, and just so that you don't forget, if you haven't already registered for the virtual Croptoberfest that I'm doing on November 1st, there's still time left to do that because you're going to use your own supplies at home. And so the registration fee is just for the having access to the lessons that I'm going to teach you and how we're going to put together all of the project recipe and all of that stuff. So if you want all of that and you don't have the plans for it yet, I need you to register. There is a fee for this class or for this event and for access to the Zoom. So if you've already joined the Facebook group, then I've sent you a message reminding you that you need to register and you need to pay the fee or you'll be removed from the group. So that's the good, the bad, and the reality of the whole thing. And then also, if you want to register for my December Days class, I would love for you to join me there. That is going to be a super fun class. It's going to last for 9 weeks, once a week for 9 weeks. And you can access the recordings anytime you want. But we are going to do it live on Monday evenings, beginning on November 3rd. So I hope you'll join me. Some of the pages are going to be custom designs by me. Other pages will incorporate the new CM December Days kit that they've put out. So we're going to do 4 days of December on the Mondays, each of the Mondays in November, and then we'll cut that back to 3, enough layouts for 3 of the days of December on each of the Mondays in December. And by the time we get to the last one, we will have the whole month finished. So hopefully you'll come join me for that too. Registration information for both of those is in the description of this video. So pop over to that and make sure you register. All right, let's check out my workspace and we'll get started with today's lesson. All right, so today we are working on a virtual crop sketch for October. I think I've mentioned in the past that I do a little scrapbook for the little people that I watch. And so every year that's the gift that their parents get for Christmas is a little 8x8. Or last year it was 2 8x8s. But they get a little scrapbook which has snapshots of their kids throughout the whole year, and their growth. And it's super fun to see and to put together, and then watch the kids look at their pictures from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. So if you're ever stumped for a gift for someone, a little 8x8 like that is perfect, and just a really neat keepsake for them. Anyway, I am going to do sketch number 1, but we're going to do this as a 2-page layout, and it's going to be in an 8x8 format. So this is designed for a 12x12, but because I do 8x8 books for Riker and Isabel, I have to take that design and break it down and make it into 8x8. So you can see that I've already done it once. This is the right side of the layout just prior to this one. The next 2 pages are going to continue their adventures with our slide. Our slide is something I bought when Riker was really, really small. And they just both still love to play on it, so we pull it out and play on it almost every time they're here. So it's just a fun thing. So we're going to make this same layout in a 2-page spread, and I'm going to show you how I do it, and how I would the dimensions I would use for an 8x8 page. And if you're interested in some of the other layouts that I have done for 8x8, I'd be happy to share those with you, show them to you, to give you some inspiration. And until we get started in our 12 days of layouts for Christmas, I'm going to continue sharing with you some of the pages that I'm doing for their album, because I need to get them done. So why not, right? Okay, so we're going to work on this page, and I use the pocket pages, the 8x8 pocket pages for, I'm looking to see if I can show you what those look like. So these are the 8x8 pocket pages. And I do that for a couple of reasons, because I could possibly need to rearrange my pages, which would be not as easy to do in a traditional scrapbook like I normally use, but also because these pages come with cardstock in them. So a lot of times I will use that cardstock and build on that, and then just put it back with all of the photos and the rest of what I've added to it, put it back into the protective sleeve. So that works really good for this project. All right, so we've got this page. We're going to work on this page, and we're going to, here, I'm going to set that up there. I've got these photos, which are going to go on that side of the page, and I've got these photos, which are going to go on that side. Okay, so those are going to just stay up there and hang out while I work on a couple of other things. Also, not too long ago, CM sold their papers in an 8x8 format, and so I got a few packs of different pages that looked like things I would use in their album, and they were already cut to 8x8, which is super handy, but not entirely necessary, but very, very handy for grabbing and going when you're working on a smaller album. These, though, we are going to trim, because we want this to be that base sheet that goes around or goes over the bottom. So I'm going to take this, take my 12-inch trimmer, and we're going to take these 2 sheets, and this is from the Noteworthy pack of papers that I received, and we're going to trim 3/4 of an inch from 2 sides. So we're going to trim from this side, and we're going to turn it and trim from this side, and we're going to just trim 3/4 of an inch off, and that will give us a nice frame around the outer edge of our page. All right, now in addition to that, I have these two papers out, and the reason is because we're going to use these to create this mat right here. And I'm going to use the blue to create the mat that's going to go directly underneath the photos. Now on the sketch that we have, you can actually see a line that separates the two photos. I'm choosing to do mine where my photos just are going to be next to each other, edge to edge. So I need two photos that are going to be exactly the same width so that they can be right on top of each other like that. All right, so and the other thing I need to keep in mind is whether I can fit that onto an 8-inch page. We are going to trim some of it off, but we don't want to trim too much of it off. So I just want to make sure that that will work. And it looks like it will, so that's awesome. So these photos that I'm working with right here, let's measure them so you know what size pictures these are. These are 3.5 by 4.5. Yeah, these are 3.5 by, or that one is 3.5 by 4.5. Let's see, this one is 3.5 by 4. So I've got a 3.5 by 4.5 and a 3.5 by 4. And we're going to just put these on my cardstock with about 1/8 of an inch. And you can cut your cardstock first and then put your pictures on, or you can put your pictures on and then cut your cardstock. It's up to you how you want to handle it. It's completely up to you. Okay, so I'm going to put those edge to edge, and then I'm going to grab the two that are going to get stacked on the next layout. Let me just double check them because I think I need to trim these down. They're a little bit wider than I want them to be. That one's going to be my one off to the side. So let me grab my picture trimmer, and we're going to just trim these down just a smidge because these are 4 inches wide, and I think that's going to be too wide for what we're trying to do here. So I'm just going to trim this down to 3.5. And you can see how I'm able to do that without sacrificing too much in the picture, right? So I don't want to cut the kids in half. And it's obvious that they're playing on the slide because we have lots of photos of them playing on the slide, let me tell you. So, all right, so now we've got these two. And these two are a little bit different dimension. They're going to be 3.5 wide again, like the others. And this one is 4 inches. And this one is also 4 inches. So there are two that are 4 by 4 instead of one being 4 and one being 4.5. So again, I'm putting the edges right next to each other down here. And if you wanted, you could leave a little bit of space between the two. It's not critical. Let's see how I did this one. Yeah, this one I put the edges right next to each other also. So I'm being consistent with my layout, so that's good. I'm happy with that. All right, so now we're going to just put this in here. We're going to trim off that other 1/8 of an inch, and I'm going to know where to put my paper because I can see, or I can guess, and let me show you. Okay, we're going to put this right along the edge of my photos. Okay, so that's where my ruler is, right along the edge of my pictures. And I want my ruler to be right at the edge of my mat right here. By putting my ruler right at the edge of the mat, then that ensures that my mat, it will be 1/8 of an inch from my pictures. All right, so that works for that one. Let's turn this one around. We'll do the same thing on this side. A lot of times I just guess, to be honest, but you get to the point where you can visually see what you're looking for pretty easily. So it's a little harder with these photos being in the middle of the cardstock. Uh-oh. Okay, hang on. Let's line that back up again. A little harder to guess when you are not right at the edge of your paper. But still not too terribly difficult. All right. So now we've got both of those and those. Now I'm going to choose a decorative blade from the decorative blades that are on the back here. And I want to use a newer one. I used Twist yesterday when I was creating that other layout. Let's use Rhythm this time and see how that one turns out. These are the two brand new decorative blades that CM just came out with. And we're going to use this red because the slide is blue and red, so why not, right? And I'm going to slide this over to the crack, which may seem kind of weird, but it's roughly 3/8 of an inch from where we're cutting to this crack that you see that goes right along the right-hand side. Just beyond the mat, there's a little kind of divot in the plastic, and I use that for a measurement a lot, just because I feel like it's a nice distance and it's just a fun option. Okay, so when I did this before, I had another straight edge on my paper, and I don't have a straight edge on this paper, so let me create a straight edge. So put my straight blade back in there. We're going to just cut this one so that it's straight. And then swap these blades again. You can see it's really easy to swap the blades out of the trimmer, which is so nice. Okay, so then we're going to go ahead and cut another one. We need 2 for each side, but because we already have a decorative edge on either side of this paper, instead of using my decorative blade twice, I can just come in here and trim off the decorative cut. And I'm good to go with my other piece that I want. It's definitely a time saver to do that. And it's pretty much just a time saver. All right, so now we've got our 2 decorative pieces. We've got our base, we've got our photos mounted. So let's go ahead and get these assembled, because really this is how easy this comes together. Okay, so we're going to take our base paper, and I'm going to add some adhesive on all sides. And we're going to just center this cute Noteworthy Days paper with polka dots and circles. All right, then we're going to take the single photo, and the single photo is going to go off kind of at an angle on the side, just like that. Then I'm going to take the photos that I've already mounted, and I'm going to place those going off the page in the corner, but at an angle so that I'm not losing any of the important bits, right? So that I can see my favorite people and they're not disappearing. Okay, then we're going to take our decorative little border and that's going to go right up the edge, right off the edge and right up the edge. Okay, so right up the edge of the cardstock and right off the edge of the page. Same thing over here. I'm going to have to adjust my little Post-it. Wish I could share with you these cute pictures because they are hams, these two little ones, but they're tiny, and with our world being what it is, it's just safer for me to not to. So that's that's what I've opted for in this, is to not to. All right. So then we're going to flip it over to the other side and we're going to trim it off, which may be a little more difficult visually because I just did this same layout on the back of this particular one, but that's okay. It'll all work. Okay, so there's that bit. And we're going to come up here and do this bit. And you can see that on the back here, I reversed the colors. So on one layout, we have a red base with a blue edge. And on the one we're doing today, we have a blue base with a red edge. So just fun. All right, so let's do page number 2. Page number 2 is going to come together very quickly, just like page number 1, because it's the same layout, it's just a little bit backwards. So adhesive down the edge, couple spots. Then we're going to center this in the middle. Like so. We're going to take our side photo, that's going to go on first. Going to put that angled out to the outer edge. Then we're going to take our double photos that are matted together. And I put a little adhesive in the middle of this because you just don't know what you're going to trim off at this point. So we want to try to maximize adhesion while we can, right? All right. That's going to go there. And we're going to put our side pieces on. Stick a little off the edge. Okay, turn it around and do this side. And then we'll trim it. This is a little easier to see than that other one. And if you wanted to, you could even stick this back into your trimmer to trim it. Sometimes I like a little bit more using my scissors to trim, just because it's a little more assured for me sometimes. Depends on how dirty my glasses are, I guess. I mean, I could clean them, I suppose, but sometimes I just feel like using my scissors instead of using my trimmer. All right. Okay, so now what I would do is go ahead and just sort of set them together so that I can see them, see how they look, and then add a couple of embellishments. So I pulled some embellishments from the Indoor Play set from the Growing Up collection, and just thought maybe these would be fun to add to our layout today. And I'm going to just pop them up because it's fun to have that layer of funness, dimension, that layer of dimension. I'm going to stick this guy right in here. We're going to say play all day. You can hear Maggie upstairs. I don't know what she's barking at, but she's having fun. All right, we're going to put this up here. Play all day. And then, I don't know. Maybe we'll just leave the rest of it on its own. What do you think? With the smaller pages, it's kind of overwhelming sometimes, I think, to go ahead and add too much to your page. So I think it's important to kind of find the appropriate balance. We can journal a little bit here and use a white pen and journal a little bit up here, and then I think that's good enough for this particular set of pages. Thanks so much for being here. I hope this has been helpful. If you are interested in doing 8x8s, like I said before, make sure you comment and let me know so that I can know to share my other 8x8 layouts that I've already done for this album. We'll just do a quick little flip through of what I have to this point, so you can kind of see those different layouts and how they come together. All right, so thanks so much, and until next time, I hope you have many more creative moments. Take care.